why is everybody so fixated on you eating poop? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. So, I guess we can just kind of get right into it. I don't really know how to start any interview. It's always awkward for me every single time. So,
I know how,
I'm sorry?
I know how that goes. Yeah, don't worry.
Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. All right, let me just make sure the audio levels are good and everything. Do you mind speaking a little bit for me?
Hello, how you doing?
Great, great. Okay. How was your day?
You know, kind of got delayed doing some stuff I didn't expect to have to do, just like errands and stuff. But I'm feeling better today. Getting a little bit over a little small illness, so yeah, it's doing a little bit better. Nothing major, just had a little under the weather last couple of days.
That's good. That's good. So I figured we can probably just get right into it since Alex the beef with Alex Stein is the main thing on the on the table basically. So your relationship with Stein involved more than him appearing at previous events and your plans for him to come to Ralphomania, but I'm not 100% sure on how exactly you both got talking in the first place. Could you maybe explain how that happened?
Yes, I can. Also, I'm just gonna try to put you down
Okay.
here. I thought I'll mess up your shot, but I'm just gonna put you down the corner. So I hope not. So, I actually met Alex Stein. He messaged me once or twice on Twitter. Um, I think once or twice he had messaged me. I didn't see it actually. And then I was talking to a guy in DMs named Vito Giswaldi, who was co-host on The Biggest Problem in the Universe with my friend Dick Masterson, and has been around for a while. He's been on the Kill Stream a lot. And he said, I have a good friend, and his name is Alex Stein. I think you'll like him. He said, I think you'll like Alex. He's a big fan of yours. He knows all about the Kill Stream, which he did when he came on. But anyway, I think you'd be a good guest on your show. I think you'll like him. I messaged him in, I don't know, November or December, and I said, hey, let's get you on the show. That'd be great. And then I forgot to hit him back up, and he had a viral video. It was like his first one. He had bigger ones after that. But then I remembered. And I was like, hey, I saw your video, and I know I didn't follow up. I know I didn't follow up last time, but I did ask you. I did ask you before you blew up. So the intent was there, even though I didn't fully follow through. I don't have a secretary or anything like that. So he laughed about that, and we ended up having him on the show in January of this year, 2022.
And then what made you decide to invite him to Ralphomania?
I just thought he would be a natural fit for that project, which he thought as well. Which it was his idea to wrestle a female at Ralphomania. He pitched that to me. For those who don't know, that's a very well-known wrestling feud kind of that happened back in the 1980s in my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. There was a famous comedian named Andy Kaufman, and he used to be on a show called Taxi, which was the #1 comedy in the country back in the late 70s. He was on several other shows, and he was famous basically for going out. Now, at the time, he didn't acknowledge this at the time, of course, but he would go out basically and do anti-comedy almost, and do stuff where he wouldn't acknowledge, like he went and wrestled women, you know what I mean, like and did all he did a whole angle where he went down to Memphis and would wrestle women out of the audience, just because he thought that was funny. And he got in a feud with the local big shot there, Jerry Lawler, and it was kind of a whole big thing. And so Stein kind of fancies himself an Andy Kaufman, which one of his associates said flat out the other day on Twitter. So I already knew that. I already knew that he fancied himself sort of an Andy Kaufman type character. So I asked him, and he was down. Not only was he down, he was very, very down.
Yeah. So then it seemed, I guess after that, it seemed that you suspected for a while that he was going to back out of Ralphomania. Was there something that tipped you off, or?
I didn't know for sure. But it was just, there was some heat with him in Baked Alaska, which I stayed out of, although I did have him on my show, which didn't. Well, just let me tell the story. He had some heat with Baked Alaska. Baked Alaska had put out this text, which Alex said isn't genuine. At the time, I didn't think it is. I still don't really. I'm not even going to, change my opinion. But he did react to it as if, he was really mad about what Baked had said. And then he came on my show. I guess he wasn't even fully mad at that point, but he came on my show and it was Baked Alaska. It was Laura Loomer. It was Beardson was there. Who else? Ali Alexander was there, and I think somebody else. And they had a Royal Rumble, so to speak, to stick with the wrestling terms here, and just had a back and forth. And Stein got confronted by Beardson that he had called Yay crazy on Tim Pool, and Ali Alexander, very I guess you could say plugged in with Team Yay right up the top. And so he said, well, your Yay interview's canceled. Like, he canceled it on the kill stream. And Alex also kind of got dogged out by Laura Loomer, who's an absolute shark, by the way. I don't know what he was thinking. He asked to call in, and I was like, hey, call in. And he got dogged. I mean, it wasn't my fault. But after that, I kind of suspected. I messaged him and told him, I was like, hey, do you want to back out? He said no. He said no, I'll just go and be a heel to the Groypers, talk some shit, which honestly would have been entertaining as fuck. Like, I don't, but he's like, no, I'll go ahead and go. I'll just talk shit to the Groypers, etc. But I gave him another out, and I'd done that at least 3 other times because we'd had some problems booking a female. We actually did book somebody, and then she backed out because of the controversy just around us and me and the show and all that stuff, which, whatever. That's her right. I don't begrudge her. I'm not trying to throw her under the bus. I'm not going to name her for that reason. But, it's kind of a logistical thing. And, each time, while I'm working on this the whole time, I'm going to Stein and I'm thinking, hey, man, I'm giving him a chance to back out, basically, because this is a whole separate, we have actual wrestlers on the card that have been, scouted, and like we have booked. Like, the Stein thing is, he doesn't even know how to take a bump. Like, he didn't do any training for professional wrestling. So the first thing they ask is, how much training does this guy have? And you say 0, and he's not going to set aside a time to do any. Which, he's making money. He's he's about to take a job at the Blaze. By most people's standard, he's doing pretty well. So, I mean, I understand, but it's like, it makes it harder to book a match like that because the other performer doesn't want to go in there and get hurt. And the main way you get hurt in wrestling is by wrestling a motherfucker who doesn't know how to work. And so at all, like, you can't take a bump or anything. So, it was kind of problematic to use a old Gamergate feminist word there, but I kept giving him chances, and that was another time that I said, hey, you sure, man? It's gonna be they hate you now. Like, it's getting pretty heated. And he went in on Bake the next day and called him a Fed. Like, he took it even further than it had been taken. Like, he just went nuclear with it the next day, which
okay. So it seemed like there was a lot of drama over whether or not Ali went to Alex's show on his own or because he was directed to do so. I'm guessing you're glad to have had him come on and clear the air last night.
I thought he did a great job, and I want to say that in front of everybody. I am a little hard on poor Ali Jamal sometimes. I was a little miffed that he cut you off at one point when you were about to readdress the fact that I don't take his super chat money, which he mentioned on Twitter after the show as well. I don't know if you pull it up.
Yeah, I saw that, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to clear up. I don't take his super chat. He has super chatted to me a couple times. But no, I don't have some kind of mob boss. That would be kind of cool if I did, or disturbing depending on your point of view. But no, I don't have that relationship with him. I've not told him anywhere to go, except once I tried to get him to go to San Antonio. There was a protest on December 12th that I'd read an article about that I'd heard might get, like heated or whatever. They were writing like it was going to get heated. And I was like, hey, this might be a good one to go to. Why don't you go out? But it was like on a Tuesday or something. I think it was kind of hard for him to do. But I don't tell Ali Jamal what to do. Ali Jamal has a whole schedule. He's plugged in with all the right-wing activists there in Dallas. I sent you a link and you can pull it up on screen sometime. But it's just Ali Jamal. And you just search Alex Stein on his channel. There's numerous videos of him with Alex Stein. I'll find the picture while I'm on air. But he also first met Alex Stein April 2nd, 2022 at the Killstream Kingpin Invitational, which was my event. And Alex has known him since then. He took time out of his set to just completely embarrass him because his set sucked so bad. So he was looking for a scapegoat. But I won't go there just yet. But he's known him for a long time. He's been at many of his events. And the idea that he would be surprised to see Ali Jamal there and think that I had something to do with it. No, not only did I not do that, if I had, I would just say that. What the fuck? Like, he hadn't messaged me about it at all. Like, there was no like, hey, Ralph, what's going on? There was nothing until I messaged him. And I was like, hey, fuck, I didn't, let me make sure I get it right, what I said to him. But basically, I was just like, I didn't send him, right? Hold on, let's find it. But he's known Ali Jamal for a while. Ali Jamal goes all over Dallas without any encouragement from me or anybody. Also, oh, wait, here it goes. Yeah, he blocked me. So, okay. Let's see. Let me make sure I read it. I said I did not send that retard to your show, by the way. That was pretty mean to Ali Jamal. I was pretty mad at Ali Jamal at the time because he, I didn't tell him to do that. He pissed me off. If you go back and watch the kill stream, which I sent you the link to, I was mad at him because I didn't want him to go. Anyway, and didn't find out till after the fact. And people were just like, oh, here's this footage. Anyway. I joked about him being my protege, and he goes around telling people that like it's for real, which maybe I shouldn't have done, but it was funny on the show. Ali seemed to have taken it to heart. I felt bad, a little bad last night when I was watching him say that. I shouldn't have let him believe that, because I do know he has, he's one of those guys who'll, he's got that heart of gold kind of, he'll kind of believe what you let him believe. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, that's true. But I thought it was kind of harmless fun, and I thought he was having fun, but it's not fun for him to go and do all this stuff and then throw my name around. So I was kind of upset at him already at that point. So I don't want to think I'm being mean to him now, but
I guess the only thing I would say is that when Ali Jamal was talking to you about how he got in trouble for recording the show, you immediately volunteered, well, I didn't tell you to do that, which kind of in a way makes it look like a little sus, right? But that's what I would say. Yeah.
Well, why do you say that? Because to me, my natural inclination is they're gonna think I sent him, or somebody's gonna immediately say that I sent him. Like, it doesn't even have to be Stein saying it, because I have an army of people who follow me around and twist it and I've had people, I've had that happen. Where my words get twisted around, or something happens and I didn't say anything, or they try to portray it that way. So I do have a habit of, doing that. I wanted to do that with Stein. I was already in contact with him about Ralphomania and had talked with him about Ralphomania on, 6 to 10 occasions. I could have ran it. If you wanted to do that, I would have done it within the Ralphomania construct, because Ali Jamal is going to be at Ralphomania. I would have said, hey, we're having problems booking a female, which we were. And for his match anyway. And I would say, hey, let's work a little drama with you and Ali Jamal. Like, I would have pitched it to him. So it doesn't even make any sense. Why would I jeopardize, 400,000 follower account, star that comes on my show for some fucking, underhanded shit when I already have him involved with the event, right? It doesn't even make sense. Anyway, that's my position on that.
So I asked this of Ali Jamal last night. A lot of people think that stand-up routines are like the last place where freedom of speech is really preserved. That being said, I know people were upset with Stein for the jokes that he made about Groypers and about Baked Alaska. Do you believe that he's entitled to make jokes about anything, or are there limits?
If it's funny, it's funny. That's what they always say. And so the limit is, can you get some motherfucker? Excuse me, I can say that. I was about to censor
You
myself.
can. No, you can say whatever you
Yes.
want.
Okay. I was just making sure.
I'm not
I
on Twitch either,
have
so
my big boy hat on. Yeah. I was about to really go PG-13. But if you can get a crowd to laugh at it, you know, you've got it made. You know, I got a crowd here. You got a crowd there. I mean, I don't think that's why, you know, he was cracking on the Groypers, but he had just called Baked Alaska a Fed. It's not like it was just, you know, some lighthearted jab or something like that. It was kind of meant to diminish, kind of meant to, you know, call into question, call them suspects, call them homosexual, actually, is what he called them. Now, I mean, should you like get riled up and just absolutely crazed about it? No, not necessarily, but I could see some people saying fuck Alex Stein after that, because he had already said a bunch of shit about Baked. You know, he'd already, at that time, me and him hadn't got into it, but he kind of went really nuclear on that. And you know, yeah, I could see people taking offense, but I mean, if you're asking me, can he make the joke? Yeah, I don't have a problem with him saying that. But also, you know, there's ramifications, right? If I start making a bunch of jokes that offend my audience or offend people who used to be my audience, which I have, right? So I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to ask why you keep calling him Jewish activist.
Because that's just funny to say.
Okay.
Also, he's lied about his heritage as well. And he came on my show in January 2019 and told me he wasn't really Jewish, that was just, you know, like a put on. And well, he is. And he said 2 or 3 other versions about, you know, his personal history as far as being Jewish goes. And when you tell that many different stories about your life and you have this much fakery out there with your stunts, and when you fucked with me, then we're gonna take a look. Now it's true that I wasn't really taking a look. I wasn't really going in before that, because I didn't have a reason to. The guy was cool with me. I was cool with him. I would say even, you know, friendly, as far as, you know, he's coming to my show and he's been to my show before. I had no reason. I had defended him, even when people in my audience were like pissed and mad and people called in. I'm like, nope, you know, I'm not getting in that. I'm still cool with Alex Stein. And that's people in my own audience here on Cozy who don't appreciate Alex Stein saying those things about Bates, right? If I wanted to just cut ties with him for that reason, I would have done so. And you know, the whole idea that I did it because I heard him say that it plays well with my audience. Well, I would have already done it. I mean, it's true that my audience doesn't like him, but you know, he did that to himself, right? Like I didn't, it wasn't anything I did. I wanted them to keep liking him. I was trying to sell tickets with his fucking name on the card, right? You know, it wasn't my idea. Now, once it went over so far to hatred, it's like, well, fine, just make it, you know, okay, I guess you're going to be the most hated. You know, I was fine with that too, but that's kind of a different thought. You know, when I had it in mind, I thought Alex Stein was going to come and have fun and we are all going to laugh and he'll do something, you know, silly, funny with the female wrestler. And, you know, we'll all go home, right? That'll be the cornball fun main event. You know, we'll have some, you know, more serious stuff before that. Serious, you know, still pro wrestling, right? But that's not, you know, he changed that by his own actions, right? Like I didn't do anything. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I would say, like you and Laura Loomer are on good terms, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. But if you fell out with her, I think you would probably call her a Jewish activist too, or?
You know, I mean, probably. If I fall out with anybody, I'll use whatever is available.
Okay.
I don't think that there are really many rules other than don't be illegal when it comes to internet battle, to be quite frank. I've been around the block a time or two, and I've seen it all and had it all done to me. And so when you fuck with me, when you stab me in the back, it's all on the table.
Fair enough.
By the way, I love Laura Loomer. I don't ever foresee see that happening. And I've had other, you know, if it's, I know he's trying to make it a Jewish thing, and I definitely have criticized Zionists on my show and continue to do so. But But I would think you would find that I'm pretty moderate on that issue compared to some of my compatriots. If you listen to all the content, and I don't hate Jews at all, and have many Jewish associates that come on the show. They don't always get a good associate.
Yeah. No, I know. I know our first interaction was like, I understand the dynamic. So like even our first interaction, like every time I think I go over to your chat, there's a lot of like, there's a lot of it's just what it is. So speaking on that point, I know you're at the center of a lot of trolling and controversy. And that it certainly involved people talking about your family and taking shots at your family at points. Do you personally believe that family should be off limits?
I think children should be off limits. I don't really think like somebody like Nick Rekieta's wife or somebody like that, especially people who come on air. It would be a nice world if they were off limits, but that's not the game as it's played really. And so I don't play it that way. And I don't know. I've taken as much heat. Like, I could come out here and say, oh, wow, and cite all the things they've done to my family or said about my family and significant others, and it would literally pale in comparison to almost anybody that online, and that's not a joke. But I'm just gonna be honest with you. No, I don't think every single member of a family or piece of history concerning your family should necessarily be off limits. But tell the truth, right? Don't misrepresent. That's my thing with it. But yeah, I think kids. I don't think that's very tasteful. I may have made a joke about a kid or something like that once or twice, but that's not something that I.
It looks like so just people who are viewing this are saying that you may have made fun of Sargon's kids at some point.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what happened on that. I mean, this is like ancient internet history. It's 2018. We were still on YouTube back then. Stream cozy.tv, by the way. So Sargon, months and months, we were trying to get him on the show. We did the St. Jude fundraiser called the Heel Stream, and we raised $27,000 for St. Jude in about a 6.5 hour period. And they wrote a story for it about in the Wall Street Journal on the front page, actually. I guess about a month later, a little bit over. And once they put that story out, they deleted all my YouTube channels.
Oh, wow.
St. Jude refunded the $27,000, and PewDiePie made a video about it and all this stuff. It was like a big thing back then, and back in ancient history days. And so that happened. Sargon refused to come on the Heel Stream. We finally got him on that October, and he talked some bullshit with Metokur and just looked like an idiot. And so it was kind of like the end of the arc. Once I got banned from YouTube, I hadn't taken any shots at his whatever, I guess miscarried daughter or son, whatever it was, and child. I don't know if that's been stated. I hadn't said anything, but there had been a couple of videos. I know there was a heartworm video that we had played that was pretty tough. I don't know if that was before or after that. There were some like super chats, but I hadn't personally said anything. Maybe I've been like, oh, like, oh man, trying to play it up. When I heard something like that, like, oh, come on, or give a react or something like that. But I didn't personally say anything. And then he came on my show, and Metokur was there that night too, and so was Keemstar. And we were talking about me getting banned. It was shortly thereafter. We went from DLive to Stream.me at this time, which is widely regarded as like one of the golden eras of all this, the Stream.me era. And I was the king of Stream.me, for the record. All you who love Stream.me, that was Ethan Ralph's house. Do you know that? I was the one who ran Stream.me, literally, pretty much. So when you talk about what you love, think about who ran that shit. Anyway, so we were on Stream.me, me, Sargon, Metokur, and that's the truth, by the way. Metokur, and Keemstar, and so we were there, and we were talking about that, and he goes, I don't care that your channel got banned. And I said, well, I don't care that your kid died while he was on air. And Keemstar goes, oh, Ralph, oh, and he like hung up. He like hung up, left the call. But to me, it was like a game of chicken, basically. You know what I mean? Like, it was a guy who's saying he doesn't care that my YouTube channel just got deleted. Like, he's talking shit to my face. We were even trying to be somewhat diplomatic, and it's like, well, okay, you don't care about that. I don't give a fuck about anything in your life, fucker. Like, you know, and maybe that's a dark place to take it. It is really, but this is a dark place. It's a pretty dark place to work in every fucking day. Yeah. And so these are dark people who work here. Some lighter than others. Some us being metaphoric, but yes, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. So then the only other thing is people in chat are bringing up somebody named Randbot and his kids or something like that.
Yeah, so
what happened there?
I could tell that story. Tell that story. So Randbot got banned from D Live, like, I don't know, 10, 20 times, and kept getting banned. And it was like a gimmick, basically. And he came on one night and he just kept, he read out literally the whole slurs list. I had a lot of pull at D Live as well. Not quite as much as Stream.me. Like I said, I was pretty much running that joint, literally, but not D Live. But I did have a little bit of pull with the staff. And so I said, man, can you please, like, man, I'll make sure he'll be good. Just let him back on. He, you know, he hates his job. He wants to, you know, give this streaming thing a little more effort, but he needs a platform. Can you please, just as a favor to me, he's on our show all the time, because he couldn't come on our shows either while he was banned on D Live. They had a Twitch rule. You know what I mean? Like, he couldn't come on at all. So it was helping me too, but anyway, I got him reinstated to D Live after he'd been banned 20 times at least. I got him reinstated. I had an interview with Jim Goad, and Rambot, drunker than a bucket of shit, as he always was, which sounds funny coming from me if you've seen some of my, you know, crazy clips, but literally, yes. Literally, yes. Literally, he doesn't have, anyway, any type of control whatsoever. So he starts feeling like I'm not letting him talk enough or be enough a part of the interview because he loved Jim Goad. Well, he quits the kill stream during the middle of it. During the middle of my fucking show that nobody who would know the fuck his name is if it wasn't for me. And he said that, and he knows that. Quit during my fucking show. The guy he should be loyal to fucking death to, he quit during my show, went and started his own show. And was shitting on me, talking shit about me, you know, in every way you can imagine. And so I went on Twitter and I said, first off, fuck you, Rambot, burn in hell. And then I said, I got a clip of you. They tried to say I recorded him, but I didn't. He was on air blubbering on Bitwave. And somebody recorded it, and it was about he'd had, you know, his wife had a miscarriage, whatever. The point is, it was Rambot blubbering on stream, kind of how he gets drunk on stream and doxes himself every other month. It was just Rambot being a fucking mess and just an absolute pathetic joke. That was really what it was about. But no, I didn't record him. I had it off BitChute, and the clip's still out there somewhere. I'm not gonna go find it, but I'm pretty sure it's posted on Kiwi Farms, actually. So all these people who act offended about shit like that, they don't give a fuck about shit like that. Have you seen the shit they posted about me, about my mother, about how she went out, lied about that, talked about pissing on her ashes? All these people can drink fucking bleach, and that's the literal truth. I don't give a fuck what they think about morality. I don't give a fuck whether they fucking wake up in the morning. Do you understand? Like, the idea that they would have any ground to talk about anything in that regard when it comes to me or anybody else is just patently ridiculous.
Yeah. What do you think is the most outrageous conspiracy theory you've heard about yourself?
Wow. Fuck. I'm
sure there's a lot.
That might be the best question I've ever been asked, actually. I don't know. That's really good. Oh, fuck. I don't know. I might have to. Pantsu, can you give me one? I don't even know, man. There's so many, honestly. Well, I'll tell you this one. So I got in a fight with my future father-in-law recently. I shouldn't even bring it up, but whatever. That's just it's one of the latest ones. I can't help it. I'm not trying to start it back up. But I had a lot of people on Kiwi Farms and elsewhere saying that was a work. When I'm out thousands of dollars worth of shit, it's not a work. It's not a work.
Yeah.
You know, I hope to God he does have it somewhere, but he doesn't. And so, you know, I did order more shirts yesterday. That was another thing I was reading. They're like, Ralph's gonna not bring the shirts. No, I spent another fucking $1,000 on shirts. I just had to replace them when you promised everybody shirts. Now I'm not gonna be able to replace the belt, but until next show. But yes, I replaced the shirts. I don't know. I read a lot of goofy shit about me. Pantsu says them trying to say, yeah, did I kill the kid's dog? That one was pretty crazy too. Did I allegedly snuck into his house, killed his dog before school, and then was at school and literally like James Bond styled it, and then revealed it to him at school. That was a pretty insane one. But yeah, the idea that me and her dad, that was pretty insane. Yeah, the idea that me and her dad cooked that shit up together.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I just read on that recently, and I honestly didn't believe. I couldn't. Well, it was hard to believe that this guy made a Twitter account and is and was talking about you.
You know what? I saw somebody comment something like that actually, where they're like, you know what? I just didn't even know. Like, what? He's got a Twitter account and he just happens to be there, and like you're going at him. It is kind of, I guess when you put it that way. But
yeah, I could just never imagine anybody in my life making a Twitter account, getting involved with everybody, right? And just
well, see, that's what people don't know, but he's been on Twitter this whole time. I've seen him like my tweet and respond every once in a while, but I just didn't make a big deal about it. I knew who it was. But most people didn't know. But if you go check his timeline, he's pretty fucking active on Twitter. I think he maybe slowed down a little bit. Anyway, I'm not trying to start all that back up. But yeah, the idea that me and him cooked it up together with as much shit as we were saying back and forth, it's like, damn, I wish. Holy shit, that's giving me a lot of credit. I don't know. You know, it is kind of strange how much credit I get sometimes. From the haters.
What caused the fight, by the way, that led up to the belt being lost?
I'd had some crosswords with her sister. There's plenty of material on the kill stream about it, but I'd had some crosswords, and he decided to destroy my property, basically. So not shit you can really do about it when you're not there with it. So it's one of those things that you have to grow from.
So obviously, like, I know that you were kind of miffed at me, or you thought that you were upset with me, one, over the comments on the tape, which I will say everybody in this space is super hyperbolic. So I knew that there were like allegations surrounding a tape.
Well, I just found it hard to believe that you did.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I knew that there were allegations surrounding a tape, but I didn't know like the nitty-gritty details of it. And anytime anybody mentioned something about the tape, I kind of assumed it was a meme. Just because that's everything that everybody says online is so hyperbolic. It's hard to take anything at face value. But why is everybody so fixated on you eating poop?
I don't know. That's very strange. It's one of those fake news stories. Metokur, originally it was me sniffing poop, which also didn't happen. It's because I have a deviated septum from cocaine use, actually, back in the day, not current. And so my left nostril is always fucked up. And so, not to get, too, I don't want to do a John Madden here on the highlight reel or whatever, but that's actually me just like sniffing the snot basically up my nose, because it's like it's always stopped up. It's so I can breathe better and get more oxygen during sexual intercourse, and there's literally no other explanation there. But it started out from Metokur. It was Metokur who came up with it. All due credit to him. Jim, you don't have long left, son. I'm actually, Bibble doesn't believe you, but I believe you. I think you're about to check out. So bon voyage. You're going straight to hell, but you already know that. But he's the one who came up with that.
So you did not, just for the audience, you did not eat the poop.
No, okay. I did not.
All right.
They wanted you to say that. Who was it they wanted to say that? I saw that. Was that your show? Who was it where somebody wanted? I don't know. I forget what I was watching the other day, and they were trying to get somebody to say that. No, I did not. I did not.
Right. Okay. Chat, he did not eat the poop. So it seems really messed up that people would focus on the tape as a way to embarrass you. As it also includes the mother of your son. To me, again, it seems like it crosses that family line. And I guess I wanted to know your thoughts on that.
She's not my family. That's my thoughts on that.
Okay. All right. Um uh okay. And then I guess what do you think are your biggest regrets in your online career?
Um, wow, that's another pretty good question. Biggest regrets. I wish I could have. Um, I wish we mentioned stream.me earlier. I wish there
Mhm,
would have been some way to keep that on the rails. I do think that that was sort of a golden era. But my biggest regret, really, what kind of brought that down is the same thing that brings down all these shows if you let them hang around, and it's these psycho Kiwi Farms types who always are causing dissension, and they're making up fake shit, and you talk about doxing, they talk about they criticize me about doxing and morality. I mean, literally doing the
mhm,
most doxing, the most immoral shit you could imagine, attacking the most families you could imagine. And if you let those people have free reign in your community, which I did for a while,
mhm,
and even thought like that was the way to do it, right? Hands
mhm,
off, and whatever goes, and it's not my deal. And maybe we even need, maybe that's even good, a little bit of just Wild West type of atmosphere. And that was not good. And you can't build a long-term audience off of that unless you're Josh Moon, you own Kiwi Farms, maybe you can say Metokur, but you can't think of anybody else that eats off those people regularly. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, right? That stays propped up by them, except for maybe the people they hate. I mean, it's good for me from the outside, just them talking about me, but having those people around, playing to that audience. I think, I look at the people who stabbed me in the back who I thought I could trust.
mhm,
And I didn't, I did, but the people I, didn't give the trust to when I should have, I don't know. I just think I was on a wrong course for a long time. And I see some of my friends here on cozy.tv, Baked Alaska, for instance. I feel like Metokur kind of set that up. I had no reason to go after Baked, and it was a fun arc, I guess, quote unquote, for my show, but it wasn't fun for him, and it was no
yeah,
reason for that to happen to him. Right? We kind of like almost destroyed his life for no reason, really, just because Metokur didn't like him. And I look back at that, and I'll still go after somebody, sure.
yeah,
But I feel like I have a much stronger code these days than I did back then, because there was no reason to do that other than
mhm,
Metokur didn't like him, and we could get known off of it,
yeah,
people, and we did. But I don't know. I feel like I just didn't have the right mentality
mhm,
for several years, and it just caused me to trust the wrong people. So
mhm.
I guess that's a long-winded answer, but I couldn't really just pick any one thing. But that's what I would say to that.
So speaking of KF, there are a lot of allegations about swattings on many people involved in this area of the internet.
Yeah.
Do you believe that they're connected to the Kiwis or others in the space?
I would assume that they are, but you never really know. Like, I've been around since Gamergate, and people been getting swatted since Gamergate. I myself have gotten swatted like 8 or 9 times, including
Mhm,
with guns, without. People have come. They had my gas line turned off once. Like, there's been all kinds of. Even this year, there's footage on Twitter of me getting swatted with police with their guns coming to my house. I think we just had our daughter then, like 2 months before. She was at the store, thankfully.
mhm,
But imagine that happening to your to your family, right? Thankfully they weren't there. It was scary enough with me there.
mhm,
Right? Like, I didn't want them to. These cops, man, look, I'm not a respect the police type guy. That's
mhm,
not me back the blue. That's not Ethan
mhm,
Ralph. It never has been. And these hothead cops will definitely slip up and shoot somebody or fuck around or take the wrong
mhm,
signal. It's happened countless times. It's going to keep happening. So I don't really know. I would assume probably because, that's the place they can see the reaction to it. Like, you would only do something like that if you could sit back, watch the reaction, kind of play into the reaction too. So I would assume, but like, I really don't know. I don't support swatting at all. I actually moved to Mexico. I don't live in the United States anymore. And one of the reasons I did that is because I was tired of getting fucking swatted. And it doesn't happen here.
I was just about to ask you about that. Yeah, you had been posting about Mexico recently, and I guess I was going to ask, like, why you had chosen Mexico of all places to go, especially being part of AF now. So
yeah, I heard that talking point, of course. But that doesn't, I guess these people haven't watched my show. I think the way the United States has behaved towards its populace the last 40, 50 years is a disgrace. And the idea that you should be loyal to your country's interests over your own personal interests, unless you took a direct oath to do so, right? You're in the military or something like that, then you're a retard. Like, I don't even know. Like, no. No, my interests are definitely much more important than sitting around the United States. I don't regret leaving for 1 second. Merida is in the Yucatan Peninsula is far superior than Richmond. It's far superior than almost any city in the United States. Everything's cheaper. My rent's half price. Food's half price. I don't have the Spanish down, but it doesn't really hold you back much. There's a beautiful beach 20, 30 minutes away. Cancun, 3.5 hours away. So, somebody said it best, America first, Mexico second. That's what they said on Twitter.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay. And so, I do have some super chats.
Sure, I imagine those will be interesting. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. And you don't have to answer them, but, I did promise people I would at least read some. But, I guess, before we get into that, I guess that kind of means that you're not really a nationalist, right? If your interests come first over.
First off, I didn't renounce going back ever to the United States, right? I'm still going back in January. It's not like I left the USA forever or anything like that. I think I can do what I do for nationalism in Mexico. And the important thing, my role is to do these shows and to put on this programming, and whatever helps me do that better, easier, cheaper, and to also fight all the external battles that I have to fight. Some of them I can't even talk about, court, all this stuff. I think, and moving to Merida makes that easier. Yeah, I think it's a good call.
Okay. So earlier you were talking in the show about Jim not having a whole lot of time left. The first super chat that I got actually from him was, Ralph, when I get down there, do you want me to tell your mother anything for you?
Jim, see there, I was waiting. Man, were you holding on to that one? See, I'm glad you did that. I'm really glad you did that because, I read this about you all the time. Jim won't go after families. He's too good for that. He's too good to go after families, and that's just not in his character. That's not something Mr. Metokur would do. Mr. Metokur has a code of ethics, and Mr. Metokur would not go after a family. Do you know that? Yeah, you're a complete fucking liar. You're a fucking fraud, and you always have been. Kind of like you're against Patreon before you were for it. You were against Superchats before you were for it. You were against merchandise before you were for it. Just stay there in your little bubble. You don't have much time left, and I will definitely pop a cork and celebrate when your bitch ass dies.
Okay, next super chat says, why did you take a break from streaming on December 16th?
Oh, by the way, when that's not the real Jim, don't spoil my. You know what? Don't spoil my. Tell me that is the real Jim. I want to know. Now I have to know, Stardust. You have to.
I don't know if it is. Somebody's going to have to confirm it for me. I'm so.
Confirm. No. You have to confirm that. That was my thesis. No, it was confirmed mere days before his death. You have to. Oh man. All right, we'll see. We'll see. If
we'll see. So somebody says, why did you take a break from streaming on December 16th when I guess Pug passed away on November 26th?
Yeah, they have a lot of crazy theories about my dog's death, which are just ridiculous. And I can thank her father for that. I'm not addressing any of that. I love
Okay.
my dog, and only an
Yeah.
insane person would even countenance the bullshit they're saying.
Yeah.
So they can
Okay.
just blow their brains out.
Stardust, can you ask him about doxing his baby mama's sister and trying to get her fired?
Yeah, you could, but I'm not going to go into all that stuff because I've done like 8 hours of programming on it last week. But it's up on rockfin.com/the Ralph Retort if you guys want to watch it. And it's all there in all of its glory or in glory, whatever you want to call it. But it's definitely there.
Okay. Next one is, does Pantsu use Mexican tap water when she feeds Rosie baby formula? What kind of question is that?
First off, Rosie doesn't use baby formula and never has because she only used breast milk. But regardless, that's another theory. You talk about weird shit. They created this other alternate reality for I don't even know what reason that she uses formula, which she doesn't. And no, you don't drink the Mexican tap water. That's not something.
Okay. Harry has agreed to give Sandra to pot awful. Is there anything you can do to stop it?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have her ashes, so that would be what I would do to stop it. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Where they think he has her ashes because I joked on air about him pissing on her ashes, and so, but he doesn't actually have them. They're in Richmond, so I already know where they are. So I don't know. I wonder what they'll cook up. Yeah, I'm kind of interested.
The next one I'm not going to read because it seems
maybe that's not the right word. Maybe that's not the right word to use in this situation because you're going to have to burn something to get that amount of ashes. I don't know what they'll use, but don't commit any felonies would be my advice.
Okay. Third question of that series I'm not going to read because I just don't think that it would be right for me to read it. Somebody says, happy Andrew Tate getting arrested day to those who celebrate. Happy Andrew Tate getting arrested day, I guess.
Oh, that's definitely Metokur. I can tell that's him. He's I just love that he did that. I love that he did that literally on his deathbed. Just completely, please. I want everybody to take note here. He's not above anything. This guy's been a lying piece of shit the entire time.
He did what? He got him arrested?
No. I'm just ranting. No. Andrew Tate. Oh. No, I was talking about Metokur. No, I'm saying take note that he sent in another super chat. I just saw him in chat. I'm just saying take note because I've been saying this shit about him for years. Just take note that the guy is full of shit.
Okay. And we already answered this question, but I'll read it just because it says, why did Ralph flee the country? Was it to avoid Faith in his son? I think the answer, you already gave the answer to. Okay. The next super chat was Ralph put Ranbot's kids' pictures on his show multiple times.
I don't think I've done that. I have put his wife's picture up. But I don't renounce doing anything to Rambot. So if that's what, again, the Kiwi Farms crowd complaining about morals and ethics, can just go slit their wrists. Like I literally don't give a fuck.
Hey.
I don't renounce anything. I don't renounce anything. I don't apologize for anything. I am completely 100% unapologetic about everything. I just want to be clear.
Okay. All right. So I disavow the following super chat. Did Ralph really trade Tug's corpse to a Mexican doggy butcher for Xanax? Sad. Also, does he still keep Nora's Sax toy inside his nightstand? Yikes. Chris Hansen and Kevin Nash coming for you, boy. Next super chat. Does Stardust remind Ralph of Nora? Is that why he called her cute in his last stream?
Do you remind me of Nora? Well, I mean, you're both. I think you said you're Pakistani. I don't remember if you're Pakistani.
I'm from that general area.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of if you know a little bit about it's kind of all relative. Like once it's over in that area, really. No, I just did that to talk shit on stream.
Yeah.
And besides you both being kind of the same shade a little bit, there's really. I'm female. I guess like same age group. I mean, there are some similarities there.
Yeah.
But no, I just thought it'd be a funny way to talk shit about you and to also she doesn't like me doing that, bringing up her picture. So I knew it piss her off as well. So kind of.
I think it's all fair game, honestly. Like it's content. I'm not really offended by it. And obviously when I'm, it's just part of the thing. So I'm not really offended by it.
First off, wanted to come on your show. Actually,
Yeah.
'cause I was watching the Alex Stein thing. Of course, I know the psychos are going to come out no matter what. But I was watching the Stein thing, and he had done a lot of these shows. And, you know, a lot of these people I have heat with. Of course, I said that about you, and I'm, you know, we talked the next day. I don't, you know, it's not anything. I don't have anything against Stardust, of course. I was just miffed that you guys were, it seemed a little, when I know you, right? I know they're not going to have me on the Simpcast. They're not going to have me on these other circuit shows that he went on. But it's like, oh, here he is with Stardust. Like, and she's saying she doesn't know about this or that. Like, but you did message me the next day and you've had me on, and I, you know, I don't feel mistreated or anything like that. And the super chats are psychotic, but you know, it's kind of hard to complain about something like that when you're the host of the kill stream.
Yeah. I've sat through, so I was saying, I've sat through my fair share of psychotic super chats, like half the chat saying, oh, what color are your nipples, Stardust? So I think we can handle some crazy super chats here.
You're right. You're right.
So, so the next super chat is Groypers equals felonious convicts and offenders try to equal Christian and wholesome actually appear equals Lil Cons who can't.
Can this broke motherfucker just spend some more money so he can afford some more letters?
Yeah, it's true.
This is kind of pathetic, dude. You look very poor. That's what you
can't take a single critique and then try to silence people. Very bad and damning look. It's strange to me how Alex Stein rose through the ranks of the right-wing media, but was unknown prior to 2021. What do you think about that?
I think that, yeah, he's definitely had some help. It doesn't hurt to have some connections, so to speak. And he already had a history in Hollywood and with Cheaters and with several other shows and reality appearances. So that definitely helped. I will say this, just being fair about it, Alex Stein works really hard. And, you know, I don't like the guy. I think he's a complete scumbag, and, you know, I have my reasons obviously for thinking that, right? Especially when I gave him every chance to back out, you know, that does rub me the wrong way for sure. And he immediately went on the personal attack. Okay, well, I'm already there, buddy. Like, you don't have to tell me twice. But I'll be fair and just be honest. The guy works really hard, and he's everywhere, and he's done a lot of shows. He's done almost every shit request asked of him. Now he's starting to pull back on that. You know, this when he's going to the Blaze, he's starting to tighten up, maybe pick and choose a little bit more, but that's how he got known, was just blanketing everything, going everywhere. And he's a good, like, you know, street guy. Now it turns out some of that stuff is not what we thought in terms of planted people and stuff like that, but he's still good at that stuff. And he's good at getting attention. And, you know, I guess it surprised me a little bit, maybe, but not all that much. After you saw the early trajectory, it did look like he was headed to blow up status for sure.
Okay, next one. I disavow this super chat, but I told people I would read them. So last night I asked a bum on Beale Street about the Memphis Micro. He hadn't heard of you, Ralph. Wow. And W Memphis explains perfectly why you are the way you are. Oh, I think that means West Memphis.
That
explains
does mean West Memphis.
Okay, all right.
West Memphis, Arkansas.
Next one is Ralph went after Nick Fuentes' sister and called her a coal burner. What does that mean?
I don't know. What does that mean?
I don't know. I think that's probably something I need to look up. I'll
say this.
Yeah.
They have tried to start a lot of stuff between Nick and I, because we had a beef like 4 years ago, and which we hashed out in like the course of a week, which was really silly. I think we both said that was dumb. And for me, I mean, it was really smart, honestly, to get on the right side of Nick Fuentes. And we've been, I would say, on the level and gotten to be friends since then. You know, he's never, you know, disrespected me as far as like always being there if I asked him to come on the show, or at least have an open ear about an idea I had to use him on the show. He was on the heel stream, as I mentioned. He's done a lot of big debates on my show. You know, I ended up coming on cozy.tv, which caused a lot of problems in my own camp. You know, my own people started, Rambot and Dingo and these idiots, you know, started attacking me over that. But the reason I did that was because Nick had always been cool to me. He's got this cool website. I mean, why shouldn't I use it? I don't have it. You know, he's a good guy. He's always been good to me. Just because, you know, Mike Enoch doesn't like him, I don't give a fuck. You know, And that's kind of how, you know, I am with everybody. If I'm cool with them, I'm cool with them. I don't care about, you know, whether Metokur likes them or so-and-so likes them. Like, fuck that. You know, my guys are my guys. And so I'm very glad that that was a short-lived thing, our little spat. Back in the halcyon days of blood sports in 2018, because Nick's a great guy, great friend, and he's doing some great things with Ye.
Okay, next one is from Mr. Metokur says, Ralph afraid to address the fact he doxed and tried to get a woman fired, just like he tried to do to a janitor at an aquarium. Sad, I ain't scared, runs to Mexico.
You know what? You know what Jim's afraid to address? The Grim Reaper. But he doesn't have to wait much longer. He doesn't have to have that impending feeling of doom because it's coming very soon. Jim, you better stop spending Jade's retirement money because, you know, that big fat slop hound, what is she going to do? Like what? Keep cleaning teeth? You better save her a little something, Jim. It's going to run out. What's she going to sell? What, are you going to leave some mementos to sell off on eBay after? Is that what's going to happen? Man, God, I sure hope somebody doesn't. Well, don't worry, you won't be around. You won't be around to think about it, Jim.
Next one is Ralph abandoned Sandra in Life and Death. Sad, Nora, I like the second eyebrow, very fetching. Second eyebrow? I don't understand.
Oh, there was a picture of my ex-wife where they just like photoshopped a unibrow on.
Oh, okay.
Unibrow. And I would not fuck with unibrow. I mean, she would. I mean, if you don't ever pluck there, maybe she would have, but no, they like I don't know. But no, she was meticulous actually with her eyebrows. So no.
Yeah. Okay, Ralph, can you confirm if you did or did not stomp on someone's head at your bowling event?
I have never done anything of the kind. I've never violated any orders or suspended sentence. And so, yeah, there's your confirmation.
Ralph, how does it feel to have better... Oh, man. Okay, I disavow this one. Ralph, how does it feel to have bigger tits than the host? When you...
I don't know, I can't really see him over there. Like,
I did get a reduction, so...
Did you?
Yeah, I did, like a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
When you rage out, do they jiggle individually or as a quad unit? I know. Next one is from Mr. Metokur. Can the host please remind the guests that I stayed in the United States because I'm not ashamed of the country my daddy gave me?
Well, make it easier to bury your nasty ass because you'll already be there in your hometown. You know, it's kind of a big deal. Back, so no big deal. I mean, you haven't even left your house, much less leaving the country. Dude. If you would just leave your subdivision, I think it would be time to alert the local news media. Much less leaving the country. I don't think that's in danger of ever happening. It's definitely not in danger of happening now. Maybe some experimental treatment. I don't know, but TikTok, Augustine.
Yeah. What's the beef between you and Metokur? When did that all start?
I got attacked in Portugal earlier this year, and my orbital socket was crushed.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was kicked in the face, and my orbital socket was crushed, and my other eye was like swollen shut. And I put out the picture myself because I looked at myself I saw it in the phone, and I was like, damn, my face is fucked. And there wasn't like a paparazzi photo or somebody hacked my phone to put that out. I put that out on my own, and I put it out just because it was more of like I lived type thing. And he immediately did a stream about it and like tried to make it a mockery and tried to attack me. He'd already been angling to attack me for months as well. He'd been doing the circuit, talking shit, basically. Not fully. He wanted me to come out and attack him, which I don't have any problems doing because I already wanted to anyway. So once he did that, because he always acts like he's an above it, type guy when he's just as in the muck as anybody, but he tries to be king shit at King Mountain. And as you've seen with his super chats tonight, he's not. So yeah, I did already have a little bit of a just, you know what? Fuck you. And so when he did that, I wrote an article. I forget what the first one was called. I think it was The Smoke. I don't remember. There were 2 articles though, and I went pretty hard, I guess you could say, toward him and his wife, who's former colleague of mine. So I don't want to, for people who are watching, when I talk about his wife, we used to all be compatriots together in a little thing called Gamergate back in ancient history. Also, I saw Jim. He used to make fun of people who talked about Gamergate, but I saw he did that podcast a few months ago doing Gamergate history. So I guess, that's cool now too. It's cool to do it now that no, he said it's okay. So that's me mocking you losers, by the way. I don't want anybody to. You have to say it right after before the autists actually believe it.
Why did you go to Portugal, by the way?
I knew Jade, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. Say what?
Yeah. Why did you go to Portugal?
Because I was going there to mock Andy Worski. And also because Portugal is fun and based. I still love my time in Lisbon. I get that on Twitter too, where it's like, what? You're going back to Portugal? And it's like, yeah, actually, I am going back to Portugal. I went back again. Something else happened, but I'm going back again. Are you crazy? I fucking love Lisbon. And I love Portugal. I went out to see the cathedral there and a bunch of other stuff last time on a tour. Like, the whole country's nice. Actually, but I spent most time in Lisbon, and I love that city. I highly recommend it.
So Mr. Metokur just sent a super chat. He said, I was going there to mock Andy Worski. So how did that work out for you, LMFAO?
It ended up being the best thing that happened to me in my entire career, actually, because it freed me from that. I was about to use it. I don't think I can use that word on YouTube. I won't say. I refuse to use F-slur. I just no. Although I guess I did just say it.
Oh, it's fine. I mean,
it kind of got me out of his. Where it's like you're almost. Some people feel like you have to pay deference to this guy, or you owe this guy something, and he can just say whatever he wants about anybody, and he never has to fucking answer to anybody. He never has to take any criticism. He never has to take any of the personal shit that he deals out to anybody else. He never has to play on the level. And I think I showed everybody that, oh, yes, he does. Oh, yes, he does. And oh, no, he's not going to end the Ralph's career. The only thing Jim did this year was make me a lot more money. A lot more money. He made my show more exciting by stabbing me in the back, giving me a storyline all year. So I thank him for that. I thank him for using his last year here on Earth to breathe new life into my online career and to actually jumpstart that shit. Because I said it at the start, and I don't know if he ever figured it out, but making me his #1 villain was one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. And I love that happened. Now, it is what it is, right? I mean, yeah, I used to come on the show and all that stuff, but I think that was a great thing for me. It was a great thing for the show and just the character arc, so to speak, that all that happened. And I couldn't be happier that it did, actually.
What is this whole thing about Moloch or Moloch?
That's some stuff, with the Odyssey CEO, who I'm not even gonna go in on. I had a little detente there. I won't go into that either, but I don't wanna bring all that stuff up. And but it's public record. That'll be enough to say there. You can go watch the show. I'm trying to be diplomatic.
Yeah.
People say I can't be, but yeah, I can every once in a while. But yeah, that was a little feud that I had there with Odyssey.
Okay, yeah, I was so confused because somebody came into my chat the other day and they said, "Oh, Stardust, stop sacrificing children to Moloch in the backyard." And I'm like, "What is that?" And then so I was like, "What?" But anyways, yeah. So somebody sent a super chat saying, "Demonologist Sticks and Hammer 666 thinks it's drug related and nothing to do with the occult. Can you shed some light on this mystery?" And I know you already have talked about that. Circus says, "What is the age of consent in Portugal?"
I don't know. That was where Worski was going to move for the longest, and he used to talk about in DMs, according to his ex-associates, used to joke about stuff like that. So I don't know. You probably want to ask Andy Worski, who aborted his child. What the age of consent is there in Portugal, I didn't partake in any of those type of activities in Portugal, so I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know. Ask Worski about it because I've heard him laugh about it. I do think it's younger than the United States. I don't remember the exact number, but I think it's younger.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's all of the super chats. Did you hear about Keemstar today admitting that the thing with Salvo and Flam was like made up or something?
So I don't know. I didn't actually, because I literally just got on my computer. I did put out a few tweets about Andrew Tate and a few other things, but I don't know. I was trying to catch up with I don't even know if the Salvo stuff is real. Like I was seeing some of those leaks. He's supposed to be coming to Ralphomania. He just confirmed like the day before all this happened. So I don't know. Are those leaks? Is that even confirmed real? Like it reads almost like I know I just got through saying nobody believes anything, but like it is like.
It seems like it's real. Like that's what it seems like to me. We watched something on it last night. But I know that Keemstar was covering it today. So I have to check up on that. But I know that they got Keemstar to admit that Salvo's accusations of flamenco were not true. So
I don't know, but I also consider flamenco the absolute scum of the earth and wouldn't care at all. As far as I'm concerned, fuck him, fuck his career, and run him into the dirt. That would be my opinion of flamenco, especially knowing what I know. And well, we'll get to that. Don't worry, Stardust. 2023. Well, it's the year of the gut. That's all I got to say. And I've got some plans in store already for early 2023 that are going to involve our good little friend Flamenco. So just stay tuned. Just stay tuned is all I'll say on that.
Sorry, I missed one.
Stay tuned to Flamenco.
Yeah, I missed a couple of super chats here. Mr. Metokur sent one saying, "I'm nothing without Jim. I can't believe you admitted it. LOL." Did you want to say anything?
I saw that. Well, look, I've always been good at making money off you, Metokur. I'm next to you. I'm the next best at it. I think that's been proven. So I don't, that doesn't do anything but put a feather in my cap, son. So I thank you for that.
Okay. And then the next super chat after that is, if children are off limits, then why did he just refer to Andy Worski as a Bortsky?
Well, his kid's dead.
Okay. There you have it, chat.
Also, he killed a child, dude. Are you serious? Is that really your logic? Okay. Well, you know what? Why don't you go kill yourself? Honestly, I mean, that's really your logic. Oh my God, he's bringing children into it. He killed his child, dude. Are you fucking serious? He killed his child. And so your complaint is that I bring that up. Okay. All right. Yeah, I got it, Captain Morals. Yeah, appreciate you checking in. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like it's just ridiculous. And you know, it's a nasty sector, I guess. By the way, I love that everybody adopted that after I started saying it, and now people just say it unironically. So thank you for proving my influence once again. But go ahead, Stardust. Sorry, I don't want to.
Sorry, no problem. What is the goal in Merida? Are you going to live there casually, learn the language, integrate, buy real estate? I heard Merida is gorgeous.
Merida is gorgeous. It is one of the top 5 safest cities in the North American continent. The weather is lovely. Like I said, Progreso beachfront, not too far away. Cancun, not too far away. But the Yucatan Peninsula itself, Chichen Itza, I think is how you say that. I don't know. I have to double check. That's not my forte of historical studies. But there's some Mayan ruins around here too, as well. Just a lot of cool stuff. It's by far the safest city in Mexico, the safest state in Mexico. So yeah, I plan to live here for a good number of years, actually. Yeah. I don't see a reason not to. I see zero reason not to when you can live here for half price and I can do every single thing I want to do. I can get pretty much every comfort of America. And in most ways, it's better here. I'm just being honest. Delivery's cheaper. Every aspect of life is cheaper. I can get a cup of coffee delivered to Starbucks coffee delivered to my door for like $7. And that would be like, I don't even know, like $18 or something like that, in the US. So, and that's a latte, you know, that's like a big drink, right? That's not just a small cup of coffee. And it's just little stuff. It's just little stuff like that all around. It's more of a community feel actually in Mexico. It's actually more of a, to be quite honest, a family oriented society. I don't think people really realize, you know, how different it is down here. Not in a negative way either. It really is more centered around the family. They do have a lot of like kids areas and stuff when you go out to restaurants, and people more accustomed to having their kids with them, and it's just more of a family atmosphere. It's like 1,000 million times safer than Richmond, Virginia. It's 1,000 million times safer than Memphis, Tennessee, and most likely there's about a 95% chance that whoever can hear my voice, it's at least 1,000 times safer than where you live. And definitely if you live in a big city, it's pretty likely. So, and again, there are some cities that are as safe, like Toronto is right up there with it as well in the rankings, but you know, it's like quadruple the price, right? So Merida's on the way up. You know, I don't think in 10, 15 years, you're going to actually be able to find too many deals around here. So I would say that if you're planning to move here and stay, or like start a little something here and maybe go back later, now would be a good time to get in, because some people have already gotten in. I was talking to a local recently, and they were talking about how a lot of the Canadians even had to leave because of COVID. So that, you know, that might be a good time for Americans to swoop in and take their spot in some of these places. So the Canadian expat community is a little depleted because of all their COVID regulations. But yeah, I love Merida. There's no reason to leave here whatsoever. Yeah, advertisement for Mexico. Yeah, 100%. It's nice here. I don't give a fuck. Like, these people are so provincial and just like backwater in their thanking. Quite frankly, it's because I was gonna say frankly after that, and I'd already moved ahead. But you know, I don't. What? Like, who even? These are people who don't even leave their city, much less think about leaving their country. And that can't be me. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Chat, we're gonna be closing it up soon, so any last ones, you've got like 5 minutes to get them in, because we're cutting it off, all right? Okay. Somebody says they want you to show your tits before you go. I'm not gonna force you to do that. Just like you would never force me to do that.
Show your tits, I'll show mine. How about that?
But Ralph, you went after Ricada's children too. I think you already addressed that. Why did
I qualified that? Because I think we made a couple jokes about you know, the parentage there, perhaps, or whatever. But I didn't like single out his kids or whatever. I qualified for that earlier because I already expected some citations like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Why did Ralph get mad at Chrissy May for asking these uncomfortable questions, but not Stardust?
Well, first off, you know, that's a fair question, actually. I think that is a fair question. I just didn't like the way she asked him, really. I mean, it would be the simplest way to put it. I didn't really like the vibe of that show. Of course, I haven't really went back and watched the whole appearance. I was definitely on one that night, not in terms of like inebriation, but in terms of fired up, ready to go, to use a thing Obama used to say. It was one of those, like, yeah, I was fired up, ready to go kind of already. And yeah, definitely just didn't feel it. And was kind of spoiling for a fight a little bit already. And that's another thing where I don't think that hurt me any. Nobody in my audience gives a fuck about Chrissy Mayer. Let's just be real. And so that's not why I did it. But it's just one of those things where I don't feel like I was being treated with respect. And so I didn't give any respect back. And me and you know, she'd been on the show a few times too. But I've actually talked to Stardust. Stardust is really good at what she does just in this sector, as I said earlier.
I appreciate that.
She has a lot of different people on. She goes on debates, and she can take it. And most people can't. And even when I was talking shit the other night, because I didn't know if you're gonna have me on, I was like, well, fuck, I guess I'll just talk shit, whatever. And I tried to keep it, somewhat silly, but it was a little bit of wow, that was like, oh, Stardust, like, man, fuck. I hope that's not the case, because I actually have been this too, have been a fan of yours and a fan of your career. So I do appreciate you having me on. I do think that that Stardust takes it seriously as far as being fair to her interviewees and stuff like that. I don't feel like you're trying to set me up or something like that. Whereas it just had a different feel that night. And people can say I'm wrong. That's fine. That's just how it felt to me.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I know people get really upset with me for coming off as overly friendly sometimes with people I interview, but I think that's just kind of the best way to get people comfortable. And, you want people to be open and honest and all of those things and have like a genuine connection with people when you're talking with them.
What she knows what she's doing when it comes to interviewing. She's thought out how she wants it to go, and you're also open to going different ways with it. You don't ever really cut me off or anything like that. You've seen the kill stream. I'm kind of allergic usually to doing that, and there's a reason for that, because you don't know what somebody's going to say if you just keep letting them talk. There's no telling what they'll say, but if you stop them from talking, they're definitely not going to say anything else. So that's kind of my operating philosophy, and I always like that you pretty much share it seemingly. So
so okay, just a few more of these. I'm not reading any more super chats after the ones that I read. So after this point to right now, no super chats submitted after this moment right now are being read.
How many super chats did you get? More super chats tonight or with Alex Stein?
Oh, tonight for sure. Yeah, thank you. So
but I just wanted that for the record. All right, thank you.
Okay. So was it hard getting a Mexico visa when you're a convicted sex offender? Is that even true?
No, it's not. But they like to use that line. And I'm not going into any stuff like that, obviously. But,
all right. What happened to your Wikipedia page?
The little midget who created it got it deleted.
Damn.
I don't know. I think he was just tired of getting like Kiwi farmed all the time and like bugged about it all the time. I think he thought he was doing me a favor, but then I said, fuck that guy, because I don't like him really anyway. But but it wasn't really because of that. I've gotten along with him before. It was really because he was kind of talking shit when he got it deleted. And then I was like, okay, well, yeah, that's fine. I'm just way more relevant than you are. Sorry about that. And like, we kind of got in the back and forth. I mean, it goes without saying that I should have one, but it doesn't even matter. I'm plenty well known enough. I don't need any more of that. I'm sure they'll go back to it someday, but I got mentions. I mentioned the front page of the Wall Street Journal, Politico, New York Times. I mean, it is kind of ridiculous. It kind of is a travesty that they took it away. I do have to admit.
Hey Ralph, any word on why you made your mom hitchhike that day out to dialysis treatment?
I never did that. So
did you see the Regenge tape he uploaded? 2.5 inches, very sad. I did not see it. I do not go out seeking people's tapes. All right.
How much did they pay me to measure it on air? Let's get the counter offer. I've heard a lot of fake news. Maybe we should just finally get it settled once and for all. Maybe they can send their sister over to help with the fluffing too. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm open to any suggestions for sure.
Okay. All right. Ralph, did you move to southern Mexico to be king of the manlets?
Yes, that was the long-term plan. Hopefully to have a manlet kingdom.
Awesome. Why did Ralph show Rambot's kids on stream? We already addressed that as well earlier in this stream. So, and I think that's it.
Ryan bot, by the way. Don't.
Oh, Ryan bot. Oh, my bad.
You got it.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. What a stream it has been. Thank you for answering my questions.
You're welcome.
And thank you for sitting with me through all of the super chats. I appreciate it. So.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
Let me tell my side. It ain't really gonna matter.
Yeah. Feel free to talk trash on me anytime. Also, I really don't care.
No, you know what?
So
I've been hitting you with the videos and like, I guess wanting you to get upset. I even said that the next day. Hopefully you didn't take any of that seriously. I did. Maybe I shouldn't have went that way.
No, it's fine. I really am not offended. You can go as hard as you want.
I'm just joking around.
Yeah. No, everybody likes a good fight, right? So
that's right. That's right. And I wasn't sure you were gonna have me on the show actually at that time either. So I was like, well, maybe she'll have me on, maybe she won't. So that was kind of my thought process. But I appreciate you having me on, being very honorable about the whole thing. And I hope you had a good show and the coffers were replenished. And I hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Yeah. Have a good one. Thank you so much for joining me.
Bye-bye.
See ya. All right, chat. What a stream. Okay. What did you guys think? Let's hear it, chat. What did you think? Why the breast reduction, Stardust? Because it was not good, okay? I was going to get back problems. I was already feeling the pain of it. In fact, I sometimes think I didn't get reduced enough. You did good. Ralph lied about a lot of stuff. Look, that is up to you guys to evaluate, okay? I asked the questions. I let him answer. I let him go on. And you guys are the ones who are supposed to evaluate those things. So, Stardust, would you be open to interviewing Metokur? Of course, I'm open to interviewing anybody and everybody. And I will be, I will be, I would be happy to interview literally anybody. So. You cut off super chats. I read every super chat that was submitted before that time. So, I'm kind of going for I ask questions, I let people answer, and you come to your own conclusions about their answers. You skipped my last super chat? Well, I'll read all the ones that I missed, okay? I'll read all the ones that I missed now. Let's take a look here. All right. The super chats that were under $10. Stardust won, by the way. Stardust won. If anybody won this stream, Stardust won. And let me remind you all once again, it is your responsibility. You pull from that interview what you would like, okay? Okay, Thunderstorm said, what's Ali's favorite food? Does Ali have his own channel? He does have his own channel. You can probably go find it. Flamenco sent, now that we know Salvo drinks urine, did you two bond over this? That's pretty funny, Flamenco. That would have been a very funny question for me to ask. What was the story of Metokur and Terry Davis? I don't know the story of Metokur and Terry Davis. I'm very new to this sphere, so I'm still learning all of the lore here. Star, whatever you do not take drinks from Ralph. I do not take drinks from anybody. Thank you for the tip, though. If Ralph's such a victim online, why does he live in hiding and his family hates him? Both his baby mama's family hate him. Maybe he's the trash burger. I don't know, Lil Dice. That's a good question. Rage Pig moved to Mexico for cheaper boy slop. LOL. I don't know what that means. I hope I'm not saying slurs. I'm very concerned that I'm saying terrible things. Last chat. Ralph lied and is a hypocrite. Press harder next time. Okay, everybody tries to get a dunk in these interviews. I am here to ask questions and let the people talk and talk and talk. You guys, it is your job It is your job. Let me tell you guys, it is your job to take things from that, okay? I cannot be responsible for everything, right? It is your job to take what the interviewee says in response. Take what you can from it. Learn what you will. Say, hey, this seems a little weird right here. Or, hey, this is interesting, okay?